Welcome everyone to the new episode of SportsMint Media's Off the Pitch. In today's episode, we will have Eeshan Lokhande and Veer Patel as our guests, who are the catalysts behind bringing the Motorcycle Racing League to India in the form of SEAT Indian Supercross Racing League. So let's find out what happens behind the scenes in organizing an exciting competition like ISRL in India.
ISRL be marketed in the upcoming months till the commencement of the first season.
Mark event. There are certain set typical marketing tools which you use. You have your 360-degree plan with outdoors, radio, television. The most interesting part here is organically we have been getting and seeing a steady growth in the traction. A lot of core audience has started joining in and started talking about the league. I think what we aim initially right now is to get a community together which understands the sports or wants to follow it very closely. There are people who love the bikes, there are people who love mechanics, there are people who love production, and there's so many moving parts to a league like this. And I think getting those people on board with some good content, good announcements, having so many things going on would set the tone. Apart from that, of course, you will see a lot more when we go or we come closer to the events, wherein the outdoors, TV advertisements, newspapers, and radio, even the digital side for that matter. So I think we have given a very good thought on how we want to market this. Reaching to maximum audiences would be the priority for the promoters in the year one at least, because it's a new sport. No, we need to let people know. We have a lot of followers for motorsports, but most of the times people don't even know something is happening. It's kind of a unorganized sector at times, not every time, but at times. So pulling those people together, making the information reach out to them would be our aim, while we also market it in the traditional and the typical manners.
Anything for V as well, if you want to add on it. Yeah.
So I think Eeshan has explained it pretty well, but just to add on the marketing part, we will also be doing a lot of activations, like the shows, the freestyle motocross shows and mall activations and all of that. We'll be starting to do it like 30 days prior to the league. So other than the typical marketing activities, we'll be doing the FMX shows and all.
Okay. Could you also give us a brief on ISRL's 3-year investment plan, which is of around 150 crore?
So we have intended to put in around 150 crores in coming 3 years in the league. This will be used in marketing, specifically more into marketing part and setting up the infrastructure for the league. The second year and the third year, we have planned more about the grassroots development for the country and the riders, wherein we'll be putting up a centralized facility for all the team owners and other upcoming amateurs to come and ride. So we'll be coming up with a central park, hosting up around 2-3 different tracks for amateurs and pros. And we could have a lot of activations. People can ride. The teams can use it for their practice and trainings. So the investment is going to spread out into different segments, starting from marketing, infrastructure, and getting up the league at the right direction,
See, Gaurav, there has always been this question, right? Why aren't there facilities in India? Why isn't there a grassroots program? Okay, the people are doing their fair bit. They are in pockets, right? They have tracks on their farmland. They have somebody has a private facility. But if you have to do it all, the last 3 months we have been contemplating on, हम लोग क्या करें? Like as a league, what all are we going to take on? And if we are going to take on entire commitment to change the sport, there was a need of an infusion over the next 3 years where it was planned out, wherein initially it's chicken and egg. Are you going to get riders or are you going to have a facility first? अच्छा facility है लेकिन riders नहीं है. अच्छा riders है लेकिन facility नहीं. So who comes in? So as a league, as a intent which we have for the sport in India, we thought we would be the best people to step into that space and break that ice and start up something which allows people to come experience the sport. allows probably youngsters to get to the sport very early in a controlled, formal manner. And that is one part of the grassroots program which we want to start off, and that is where the investing part came into picture. Of course, marketing, there's limitless things you can do, right? So we would like to take this to multiple households and people across the nation. India is a big country. uh, People need more information, and marketing would play a very important role. And of course, of the upkeeps and contingencies and other parts which in the operational side. So that is where the investment plan came into picture, and to invest steadily over the next 3 years to overall groom and uplift the sport along with the league itself.
Okay, so as you mentioned that season 2 would be more into grassroots. Uh, so how will the investment be utilized in developing in those sectors in grassroots level, bringing up Indian youngsters?
So, like Veer said, yeah, right. And I'll just correct you. Season two doesn't become grassroots. Year two would be a focus on grassroots development and a feeder program. Year two of the league expands to 6 rounds. The scale of the league increases. We are going to 3 more cities for season two. Uh, Year two onwards, once the sport is kind of established and people know about something like this happens, there will be a need for parents and even junior riders to kind of explore where they can go and race or train. And that is when we need to put in the junior development program into place. Of course, when you look at that, investments go into bikes, maintenance of the tracks, setting up the facility itself, and so many things. So for the grassroots development program, you need to give them a feel good factor. You need to welcome them to the sport. And to do that, there are so many things which we will have to create along with. So that's where we are looking at pushing the funds to develop this facility, like we said, a central robust facility where people can come enjoy the sport. And you never know, you just might have multiple new riders in the coming next 3 years.
So my next question is, what is the business model of ISRL?
Business model in what sense?
How will the competition generate revenues?
See, revenues for any sporting event come from multiple streams, right? You have your ticketing, you have your sponsorship, you have your broadcasting. So initial years, we're looking at sponsorship as the primary focus. Then, of course, there are the team owners who will bring in a lot from their side to create the sporting side of things with the riders and bikes and everything. But as of now, maybe third year down the line, there is a broadcasting opportunity which can open up multiple revenues for business. There is ticketing which will increase, other associations on a smaller and wider scale, and so many things. So it works typically just like any other sporting mega event. So with a twist and a lot of more excitement though.
Sure. So what has been the USP of ISRL for the investors so far?
I think the scale of the event, a new sport in India. Also, I think we three passionate musketeers who have been doing this day in, day out, been racers since 2004, friends for life, and looking at promoting a sport which gave us our fame or name, limited level, but still, I think that's a whole package. The sport in itself and the promoters do play a big role. uh, we are committed to this. We dream of making this sport big in India, and I think these are all the aspects which kind of work for us.
So how will the participating teams benefit on the business front from this particular competition, which is taking place for the first time in India?
See, for any sporting league or an event, I think there should be a revenue model, and that was the reason why we wanted to put Supercross in a league format. Eventually, from the structure of the league and how we have shaped it or envisaged it, the teams get revenues from again multiple sources. They have their sponsorships, partnerships, what how they sell their inventory at their level. Plus, there will be a revenue sharing model between the league and the teams, like any other sporting league. See, I think IPL gave a big benchmark to a lot of people. Uh, how revenues for multiple people can be generated. But of course, copying IPL cannot be the case. So we worked out a model which works for the sport, and I think teams will be happy in the next coming years once we go into that monetizing phase.
Okay, so the last one from my end. How will ISRL stand out in today's climate where there are multiple new franchise-based leagues coming up?
ISRL will stand out. That is what I will say.
Yeah.
It will definitely stand out. Uh, how is something which we'll have to see post first season, and I leave it up to the people to judge us. Uh, because we are confident of what we are going to put up there for people to watch and experience. So we leave it up to the fans and the enthusiasts to judge us post first season.
Okay. Akshay, you might have any questions.
I have a couple of few questions. So the first one is, could you please elaborate on the marketing assets of ISRL? What will be the inventory?
I think inventory of marketing, I don't think is a discussion right now, because there's so many now. You want me to go down to newspaper ads and holdings, so it'll just be unlimited. So like I told you, we are looking at an entire 360-degree plan wherein we will make sure that all assets whichever are available and viable in the first season will be used. Apart from that, like Veer said, a lot of activations to give people the experience of how a bike looks, what a bike looks when it jumps. Those are
Yeah.
kind of the activations which we want to plan. Along with that, see, you can just figure out, or we can just get on a full list of things like, okay, you'll have hoardings, okay, you're going to have banners, and it'll just keep going. It's very simple when it comes. Of course, but while we are using these assets, there is a strategy put in place. There is a solid communication. There are certain key messages which we also intend to put out there for the general commuter community, of saying, do not race on public roads, right? There
Yeah.
will be opportunities, there will be platforms like ISRL, there might be more which get created. So if you want to
Yeah.
race, you want to show your excitement, and then you want to get your adrenaline out, go to a racetrack, try to meet racers, go to the track, ride in a safe environment. Just don't ride on public roads or race
Yeah.
where normal commuters do go to office or they're going home. So that would be a message through the marketing campaign, and even from now onwards, if you can put it out, for sure we would love it.
And Ishan, you mentioned about the grassroots level earlier and about amateur riders also, and you
Yes.
also mentioned about parents. So how will you approach those parents to let their kids have a career in the sport?
See, there are two ways. uh, we approach and we put out a message, that is one. But like I said, why we are doing this in the year two is we want to showcase the sport first. We want to showcase the magnitude of the sport. We want to showcase what the platform actually means. You will have to, it's like you say you want to become a doctor, you know what you need to do. But
Yeah.
you want to become a doctor, or you want to be a cricketer, that is set. So to be a supercross rider, what is supercross?
Yeah.
That has to be set in place first. That is why season one is very important. I think after that there will be a lot of inquiries coming in from
Yeah.
parents and enthusiasts, and that is very important than having some force fit people just to come and ride supercross, and then 3 years down the line they feel, oh, now this is too much for me. So
Yeah.
I think giving the sport to the nation is very important right now. uh, Welcoming them, showcasing them, and giving them an excellent experience, and letting them know, you know, what this is,
Yeah.
will be very important.
And Veer, would you like to add something on it?
No, I think it's the same what Ishan has said. I think we are on same page.
Yeah. And so, as you mentioned that you were a player as well in this sport. So, as a player, how do you feel about the competition? So, don't think of yourself as an organizer of this
I wish
competition
we
and as a player?
I wish we had this league when we were racing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I wish we as racers we did get a lot of opportunities. Me, Veer, Ashwin, the third co-founder, we have
yeah.
been together through our racing, right?
Yeah.
We did have to create our own opportunities, but I think if we had something like this, it would have been magical. And from that angle, as a racer, we feel that we need to do this even more now to give the
Yeah.
next generation the opportunity to experience the sport in a different way.
Yeah.
So definitely,
Uh,
I would be excited as a kid, right? If I had the opportunity to
yeah.
ride a league for my sport. So yes, that excitement is there as a racer, as a rider. But of course, there's a lot of responsibility on our heads now to
Yeah.
take the sport ahead.
Yeah. And last question of the day that recently the MotoGP Bharat also took place and it was a grand
Yes.
success. So do you feel that that particular competition has laid a foundation or a momentum for ISRL to also grow and to do well in its first year?
See, I think any type of events at scale, right, in India, they work better. Like I said,
Yeah.
we are a huge country, so we were all very happy that MotoGP took place. It
Yeah.
was well overdue for India to have a MotoGP or even Formula One in the future coming back to India. It's always a matter of pride to host such big events. And complete congratulations to the entire team. It does set a tone. It does create aspirations. It does bring the community together at a very high level. And multiple events like MotoGP, followed by ISRL, then maybe your Formula 3, all these things in line, give your racing fan and community a calendar of events to go to.
Yeah.
Once that happens, you start creating an ecosystem in motorsports. So that does help. And maybe we will be helpful for somebody else. MotoGP,
Yeah.
the aura that they created, definitely there were so many things which were being talked, so many criticisms which took place, and that's fair enough, right? But
Yeah.
eventually MotoGP happening, it does put India on the global map in motorsports again. And I think we would want to kind of do the same. Uh, so I think every type of organizing of scalable events helps each other and the community and the motorsports fraternity as a whole.
Yeah. And Veer, anything would you like to add on it?
I think that's good enough. Whatever Ishan said.
Yeah, you can put us in two different rooms, and I think we're going to speak the same.
Yeah. No, great minds think alike in a way.
Yes, I think we both or even we three, Ashwin also, we think from the sports side more.
Yeah.
Trust me, we have put the sport above all of us. you
Yeah.
know that is how we look at it, and whatever needs to be done for the sport, and that is why there are no differentiations in how we think. So I think we guys are three good partners who, or I look at it as custodians for the league, and
Yeah.
taking it ahead.
Yeah, sure. Okay, guys, thank you so much for your time. It was nice speaking to you, and all the best for your plans till the
Thank you so much.
Thank
competition
you, it was a
starts.
pleasure.